Tales of Xillia is a very interesting game for me. When it first came out and I first played it, I didn't gel with it all that much, but over time it kind of grew on me. I revisited it back, I want to say about 5 years ago. And when I played it that time, I felt much better about this game. So when they announced the remaster, I was definitely looking forward to revisiting this game, especially after playing Tales of Graces F, another game that didn't gel with me at first, but became one of my top 5 Tales games after playing the remaster earlier this year. I want to give a huge shout out to Bandai Namco for providing a review code of this. I can give you some early thoughts and impressions. I'm very early in the game, still at the very beginning. I just got the code not that long ago, so I want to say I put about 5 hours of play in. But I wanted to come here and give you some thoughts on my playthrough so far and let you know that actually I might really love this game. Now, when I first booted it up, coming back to Tales of Xillia after all these years is like flipping through a photo album of sorts, right? Thinking back, the very first time I played it, I didn't really gel with it all that much. Later on, it grew on me, but I think about, those late nights playing it on the PS3 and suddenly it all just comes flooding back. There's this warmth, the familiarity, but also the realization that there were actually some good PS3 JRPGs, believe it or not, and Tales of Xillia is definitely one of them. What surprised me most about replaying Xillia is how immediately playable it still is. A lot of older JRPGs show their age through, clunky menus or slower pacing, but here it's nice and smooth. The movement, the transitions, the flow from exploration to combat, it's all surprisingly snappy. The combat especially holds up incredibly well. It's fast, it's fluid, even by today's standards. You can feel that DNA from the PS3 era of JRPGs here. Short combos that flow naturally, responsive dodging, and that addictive rhythm that keeps fights engaging instead of feeling repetitive. And that is something that Tales has always been super good at. The link system is still the real star here. Pairing up characters mid-battle gives each encounter its own personality. Watching one character dive in for a linked heal or another chaining arts together in perfect sync, it's not just a mechanic, it's a way of making relationships matter in motion. That's something I think the Tales series, again, has always done better than most people give it credit for. The combat isn't just there for, filler or there just to be there. It's very much an extension of the story's emotional bonds. I felt this was really well executed in Tales of Graces F, and I feel like Tales of Xillia has done that again here. This game feels great to play. From what I can tell so far, the remaster's performance boost really amplifies everything. Higher frame rate gives the battles a kind of rhythm they always needed. Animations are much smoother, inputs feel more responsive, and the slight input delay that used to exist back on the PS3 it's basically gone. It's subtle, but all these things combine to make a much better overall experience. Then moving on to the story. Still one of the most interesting in the series, in my opinion. What makes Tales of Xillia stand out even now is the way it gives you those two perspectives of the same journey. You can start as Jude Mathis, the grounded, earnest medical student, or Mila, a literal incarnation of a godly spirit who's trying to protect her world. Both paths tell the same overall story, but the difference in tone is quite fascinating. Jude's side is more empathetic and human. It's about trying to do good in a world that's constantly testing your ideals to do so. And Mila's side, on the other hand, feels more mythic and fantasy-oriented. When I first played the original, I remember finishing Jude's story and immediately starting Mila's just to see what I'd missed. And honestly, I preferred Mila's. So this time around, I started with Mila's story, but that sense of curiosity came right back with this remaster. Even knowing what happens, the emotional beats have hit so well, and this game is landing right at the right time for me. I really wanted to play something like this. This is a classic that I've always held very highly, and I'm really looking forward to seeing this through to the end. The tone overall still feels distinctly Tales, a mix of humor and heart. The skits between characters still flow very naturally, and those anime cutscenes, especially in this remaster, look absolutely stunning. Now to dig into the more specific stuff, Tales of Xillia Remastered does feel like more of a thoughtful upgrade rather than a total overhaul. The art direction is the same, that soft kind of watercolor aesthetic the Tales series was leaning into during this time, but the higher resolution and improved textures make it feel much more crisp without losing its charm. Lighting seems to be subtly reworked as well, giving characters more depth and warmth. You can really see it the way the sunlight will filter through a town or another building you're exploring. It's still very much that PS3 era game, but it finally looks the way you remember in your mind. Performance-wise, the improvements are pretty noticeable. The original game would occasionally chug during big fights or cutscenes. The remaster holds nice and steady from what I've seen so far. There are some later points in the game that I'm looking forward to seeing through, because back in the day, I remember having some pain points from a performance standpoint, and I would like to make sure that those perform super well. But so far, the first 5 hours or so that I've played has every indication that this game is going to be great. As for the things I've noticed so far, there's little touches everywhere. Small camera refinements, a much cleaner UI, sharper text, nothing flashy, but everything just feels better. Revisiting Tales of Xillia now, it kind of strikes me how warm this game really feels, even in its darker story moments. That's always been the heart of Tales for me. These games have a way of capturing optimism without ignoring the dark moments that are still there happening. These games don't shy away from things like loss or sacrifice, but they never lose that sense of humor that I've come to love about the series. There's a certain rhythm to the Tales games that I've missed for a long time, and having this and Tales of Grace's F remastered in the same year has spoiled me rotten. Even the soundtrack still holds up beautifully. The remaster doesn't seem to drastically alter the audio mix, but the clarity seems much improved. And as soon as I booted it up and heard that opening theme song, I was right back at home, reminding me why I loved this game so much. After spending 5 or so hours with Tales of Xillia Remastered, I think the best word to describe it is just reassuring. It's proof that not every game needs to be completely reinvented to feel relevant again. Sometimes it just needs that little bit of improvement, that upgrade that kind of just makes it feel a little new again. This version of Xillia is exactly that. Smoother performance, cleaner visuals, a handful of modern comforts and quality of life fixes, and lets everything else stay true to what made it special in the first place. If you missed Tales of Xillia the first time around, this is absolutely the best way to experience it. And if you've played it before, it's worth coming back to. Not just to see what's changed, but to remember how it felt back then. Anyway, that's it for me in this one. Look forward to a full review once I finish the game. It's going to take some time, but I wanted to make sure I gave you guys some early thoughts and impressions on this one. Some Tales remasters have been phenomenal and some have been lacking. Tales of Symphonia was a bit of a disappointment for me, but Tales of Grace's F Remastered hit the highest of the highs and completely changed the way I look at that game. And Tales of Xillia is much closer to Tales of Grace's F Remastered, in case you were wondering. Let me know in the comments below if you're going to be picking this one up. I look forward to reading all your thoughts. And until next time, I'm out.
Who the hell are you? I don't have time to explain. Leave now and I may spare you from any bodily harm. Like hell? Living ring! Damn it, you have to be kidding me.
Is that a freeze?
You are correct. The Lord of Fire.